got a whole bunch of parts for the little truck. So I'm gonna work on the little truck because it seems like maybe something kind of fun and relaxing. So I wanna update the little truck to look like the real Stomper. However, the guy that was awesome enough to send it to me had replicated kind of the OG Stomper with the steel wheel look. And I want to update it to the Dirty Life beadlock look. So, interestingly enough, RC4 Drive did in fact make the Dirty Life beadlock similar to the one that I have for a little while. However, they're now discontinued. I found a set, so I ordered those up from RPP Hobby, and then I had to get the matching 1.9 inch tire because this is a 1.9 inch wheel setup. The steel wheel and tire setup is a 1.7. And then I got that, and the foams that came with these are like super hard. And so then you go down the rabbit hole and you end up with the Endura anti-foams. And then the steel wheels that came on that are just pin mount. They don't have the hex in the back. And the Dirty Life beadlock wheels require the 12mm hex. So yeah, I slowly acquired all the correct corresponding pieces, and I want to start playing with those. So these obviously though are not the same color as the beadlocks that are on the real Stomper. So I put just one of these together with the little adapter that RC4 Drive provided you with the wheel kit. And it's soft aluminum and it's stripped out just doing the one wheel, total piece of garbage. So I ended up investing in this RC4 Drive micro nut driver set. So it comes, I don't know, different sizes, 1.5, 2, 2.5, and 3mm. And yeah, so for these beadlock wheels, the 2mm is perfect. I looked around, so before I found like some jewelry screwdriver sets and stuff that work really well for tools for way cheaper. In this case, this is probably the least expensive option as far as a tool set for this purpose. So yeah, anyway, good investment. Get the right tools, makes the job way easier. Also, in tearing apart the first one, I found that not every single screw is holding the wheel together. Every other screw holds the wheel together, and then the other ones are just screwed into the beadlock ring to give it the completed look. So you might have to pull two of them side by side initially to get to figure out exactly what's going on, but yeah. You don't need, if there's no threads in this outer ring, you don't need to take it apart, so. And once you have all the screws out, the outer beadlock ring comes right off. You can see those screws are still threaded into that ring. And then your center lock, which actually is like the beadlock that holds the inner beads for the tires. And finally the rim. So we will pull the like lug nut, I guess, out of there. That separates this inner hex piece. So we'll pull the lug nuts out, separate that, and then we need to mask off that center cap. I'm afraid pulling it, I might damage them and not be able to get them back in there. And so I think my safest bet is going to be masking them. So we're gonna go that route. And boom. You got things all torn apart. So, doing this over a towel, I did the first one in the garage over my workbench. Problem with doing it over a metal workbench is them little itty bitty screws, when they touch the metal workbench, they go flying everywhere. So, towel, good call. This is way better. But yeah, that was quite a process to get that apart. I'm gonna go ahead and take the rest of these apart, and then we'll start masking up the center cap. All right, so I attempted to put these in the tire as is, and they were a little too big. I couldn't get it all smashed in there. So I took that pair of scissors right there, and I just cut the outer ring off. and then I was able to get them to fit inside there. As you can see here, so it does make it like pushes the sidewall of the tire out, kind of. So I don't know if I need to narrow them up. Once I get the rims painted, we'll try and put them together and see if it works, or if it looks goofy, then maybe I'll have to cut down some of the width of them. I wouldn't mind it to make the tire kind of chunky looking. That's the way the real truck tire looks. Mostly because it's usually aired down. It typically doesn't see, I don't know, much more than 10 PSI, but we'll see how it goes. So I've got this satin canyon black that I'm gonna paint the hub portions of the wheels with. So, nice coat of satin black. So I've taken some blue painter's tape, ripped a piece off. You can see I just gently pushed on it, but what I ended up doing is pushing on it pretty firmly around the edge until I could see the seam between the black portion of the the Dirty Life center cap and the silver part of the wheel. And then I took the X-Acto knife and ran around that seam, hopefully covering just the black portion of that center cap. And now this wheel is ready to be made gold, front and back. So we'll do that to the other three, and then we'll probably end up, putting them down, painting the back side, letting them sit overnight, flipping them over, painting the front side, letting them sit overnight, and then putting them back together. But anyway, it'll be a process. It always is a process. Okay, 4 wheels masked off. Let's hit them with some gold, baby. So for the wheels, I picked up this Duplicolor High Performance Gold wheel coating. And yeah, shook it up real good. Just did the insides. Like I said, we're gonna let that sit and dry overnight. And then we'll hopefully paint the other sides. So, just playing with the mini truck again. I got my wheels all painted up and trying to mount them using those Injora anti-foams. And I mean, they look like they're mounted, but they're kind of not. I don't know, they're kind of being a pain. The anti-foam is a little bit wider than the inner beadlock ring. So I've tried to like center the beadlock ring in between there and then pinch it, but it keeps pushing the inner beads out. So both of these, although on the outside they look good, the inner beads are pulling out, which is a little disappointing. I do like the offset of these wheels versus the steel wagon wheel. It looks more proportionate to the real truck, which is super rad. However, yeah, just fighting these tires. So I'm debating, do I like continue to fight the tire, or do I switch to an actual like foam or a dual stage foam? I don't know. So I ended up ordering some of the J Concepts soft foams. I just was not happy with the width of the anti-foams and the way they kind of made this sidewall appear wrinkled. It'd have been cool if it was wrinkled just on the bottom where it was aired down, but unfortunately it made the whole entire sidewall appear to be wrinkled up, and I just wasn't a fan. So this looked like the best compromise. So it gives us the cool offset. It's soft enough that it still flexes. You can see the tire looks, it appears to be aired down, right? Like a real tire that's aired down. And yeah, definitely love the look. Thanks for watching. Here it is compared to the real truck.